is a gentlewoman from California, Ms. Porter, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Back in 2017, I took a public stand against Wall Street and its efforts to roll back the financial regulations put in place after the 2008 financial crisis. I opposed S2155, a deregulatory bill that ultimately passed into law. Then, in 2017 and 2018, I was running for Congress for the first time in a politically divided district. Standing against Wall Street wasn't a safe position to take. In fact, that's why too many Republican and Democratic lawmakers alike ended up supporting S2155. It was seen as safer to be pro-business. Every real capitalist knows there is nothing pro-business about a bank failure. That's why in 2010, Congress passed strong regulations to keep our economy stable, our banks viable, and our businesses growing. But just 8 years later, in 2018, Washington, D.C. reversed course and passed S2155 at Wall Street's behest. So how did we get from that deregulation to the recent Silicon Valley bank failure, the biggest bank failure in over a decade? In short, S2155 made it lawful for Silicon Valley Bank to leave itself vulnerable when depositors wanted their money back faster than the bank could pay it out. When you walk into a bank and you deposit, say $100, the bank takes most of that $100 and invests it. They buy securities and bonds. They don't just have your $100 sitting around. However, the bank is supposed to hang on to a big enough portion of that deposit so that if you want your money back, they can give it to you. It's straightforward when a couple of people come in and want their money. But sometimes a lot of people want all their money all at once. Why wasn't Silicon Valley Bank prepared for that scenario? The bank's recent failure is a deregulation problem. Title IV of S2155 raised the asset threshold at which a bank is considered and regulated as a systemically important bank. And what we saw is Silicon Valley Bank and other similarly sized banks, because of Congress's own actions in 2018, were removed from these enhanced liquidity requirements, stress testing, and safety and soundness rules. Because of these lax regulations, when push came to shove, Silicon Valley Bank hadn't kept enough liquid assets to pay out the dollars being drawn out. If Dodd-Frank were still applied to banks of that size, Silicon Valley Bank wouldn't have been able to put its own profits over the stability of our banking system and our economy. Let's not give banks that choice again. When Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, Senator Elizabeth Warren and I partnered on legislation to restore the regulations that were directly implemented as a result of lessons learned during the 2008 financial crisis, not on the politics of the moment or the political power of the bank lobby. Our new bill, the Secure Viable Banking, SVB Act, would repeal Title IV of S2155. It would restore Dodd-Frank's regulations as they are applied to banks the same size as Silicon Valley Bank. Banking failures are bad. We should all be able to come together and agree that systemically significant banks need regulations to limit the risks of failure and to reduce the harmful consequences when a bank does fail. Let's agree to let Silicon Valley Bank be our last hard lesson. Let's not swing regulations back and forth with the political tides and with the whims of lobbyists. Let's instead keep rules in place that deliver a well-regulated, stable, and growing economy. My SVB Act would do that, and I urge members to support the bill that creates a banking system that works for all of us, not just one that boosts banks' bottom line. I yield back.
The chair